What would you wish for, if you held the moon itself in your hands? Wealth? Love? Power? We've all dreamed of it. But what if I told you that the most dangerous wish is not the one that is denied, but the one that is granted exactly as you asked? This is the story of a fisherman who pulled a miracle from the river, a story that whispers a dark truth. When you trap a piece of the sky to serve your earthbound desires, the sky will always come to collect what it is owed. In the village of Lwandle, by the great River, lived a fisherman named Matt. His life was defined by the almost. His nets were almost full. His hut was almost sturdy. His love for the spirited potter, Kalwa, was almost reciprocated. She was kind, but her father, a wealthy trader named Tanya, saw Matt as the river sees a pebble, insignificant. Matt's heart festered with a quiet, grinding desperation. He didn't just want more fish, he wanted a different life entirely. One night, during the crescent hunger moon, when catches were legendarily poor, Matt made a reckless decision. Against the old tales, he cast his net into the black pool, a deep, still bend of the where the water was said to be a portal, and fishing was forbidden. The water was so calm it held the crescent moon's reflection like a perfect, silver sigil. In a fit of bitter defiance, he threw his net over the moon's reflection itself. He pulled. The net was impossibly heavy, not with fish, but with light. As he hauled it in, gasping, the world went silent. The crickets stopped. The river's flow seemed to pause. In his net lay no fish, no weed. Instead, the shimmering reflection of the crescent moon lay trapped in the cords, a liquid silver painting that did not fade. And a voice, cool and vast as the night sky, spoke not to his ears, but inside his very bones. Voice of the pool, echoing, layered. You have caught a fragment of the journey. You have stopped a piece of the cycle. For this, you may make a demand of the cycle. One wish. Choose the shape of your tides. Matt, trembling, his mind blank with terror and awe, did not wish for wisdom. He did not wish for the greater good. The bitterness in his heart spoke for him. I wish for influence. I wish for my words to carry weight, for my desires to shape my world, for men like Tanya to see me not as a pebble, but as the current that moves the river. The silvery light in the net flared, then poured into his chest. The reflection in the water was gone. Only the real moon remained in the sky, watching. The change was immediate, but subtle. The next day, Matt commented to a fellow fisherman that the red-bellied fish were probably biting east of the village. To his shock, the man not only agreed but seemed to believe it was his own idea. Matt went to the market, sighed aloud that Kalwa's pots were surely the finest, yet strangely undervalued. By sunset, a line had formed at her stall, prices doubled. He had wished for influence. The pool had granted compulsion. His spoken desires, once mere words, now shaped reality around him, bending the wills of those who heard them. He didn't command, he simply suggested. And the world agreed. He suggested to Tanya that a man of hidden potential was a better son-in-law than a man of obvious gold. Tanya, bewildered but convinced by a feeling he thought was his own, consented to the marriage. Matt's life transformed. He lived in a fine house. He no longer fished. His every casual utterance brought him comfort, respect, his heart's desires. He was the current that moved the river. But the wise old basket weaver, Mamiya, whose eyes were the color of wet river stones, watched him. She approached him one evening as he admired his new home. Matt, she said, her voice like dry reeds rubbing together. The river gives, but it always flows. You have trapped a piece of its mirror. A reflection has no substance of its own. It feeds on what is real. What are you feeding it? Matt, drunk on his newfound power, laughed. I am feeding it my happiness, old mother. It is a fair trade. Mamiya's gaze fell to his shadow, cast long by the moon. It seemed thicker than it should be. "No," she whispered. "It feeds on their will. You borrow the moon's light to dim the sun in others. And when you have borrowed too much, the lender comes to collect." She left him with a chill he quickly wished away. The first consequence was small. Kalwa, once fiery and full of ideas, began to ask him what she should think, what she should desire. Her own creative spark, the very thing he'd loved, was guttering out, drowned by the constant tide of his influence. Then, his friend Lwandle, a jovial storyteller, fell silent after spending a day with him. "I feel empty of tales, Matt," Lwandle said, confused. "As if my own thoughts are just echoes of yours." Matt's shadow was now undeniably wrong. In direct moonlight, it moved a heartbeat after he did. Sometimes, its fingers would twitch when his were still. The horror began to escalate. Matt, annoyed by a barking dog, muttered, "That beast should lose its voice." The next morning, the dog was found, its mouth sealed shut as if never there, suffocated. The village was terrified. Matt felt a cold satisfaction, followed by a colder dread. His wish was curdling. It was no longer just bending will, it was etching his passing frustrations onto the world itself. He tried to restrain himself. He took vows of silence during the day. But at night, in his sleep, he would talk. And his sleeping words held power. He dreamed of rain, and a drought ended, but the rain fell only on his house, flooding it, while the village remained dry. He dreamed Kalwa was laughing with another, and woke to find her face stiff, her smile a forced, mechanical thing, his subconscious jealousy sculpting her into a placid doll. The true nature of the wish was revealed. He hadn't been granted a power. He had been infected with one. The moon's reflection was a parasite of influence, and it was consuming the autonomy of everyone around him to fuel its, and his, dominion. He was not a king, he was the vector of a silent, spreading plague of obedience. The climax came with the festival of the full mother moon, a night to give thanks for the river's bounty. Tanya, now a hollow version of his former proud self, publicly praised Matt as the village's true provider. Kalwa stood beside her husband, her eyes blank as polished stones. The entire village looked to Matt, awaiting his words, their individual lights dimmed. Mamiya stepped into the circle of firelight, facing Matt. She did not address him. She spoke to the villagers. "Do you remember your own names? Your own dreams? Or do you only remember his?" She threw a handful of special, reflective river pebbles at Matt's feet. In their mirrored surfaces, the villagers did not see themselves. They saw twisted, grayed-out versions, puppets with Matt's shadow holding their strings. The illusion shattered. A wave of confusion, then revulsion, then raw terror swept through the crowd. Their stolen wills surged back in a chaotic, angry torrent. And Matt's shadow detached. It peeled itself from the ground, a two-dimensional thing of pure, hungry darkness shaped like him. The voice of the pool echoed from it. Voice of the shadow. The cycle demands restoration. You took their tides. Now, their current comes for you. The shadow did not attack the village. It attacked Matt's influence. It flowed through the crowd, and wherever it passed, the compulsion Matt had woven was undone, violently. Kalwa snapped back to herself with a gasp, took one look at the stranger she'd married, and screamed in horror. Tanya roared in anger, feeling the humiliation of his bent will. The entire village, freed from the mental prison, turned their furious, newly reclaimed agency upon Matt. But the shadow wasn't finished. It returned to him, not as a part of him, but as a creditor. The reflection must be returned, the voice boomed. You are the vessel. You caught it. You must release it. Matt understood. The price for his wish was not his life, but his self. To return the fragment of the moon's cycle, he had to become what he had trapped, a mere reflection. The shadow stretched towards him, not to kill, but to overwrite. Desperate, Matt did the only thing he could think of. He ran. Not towards his fine house, but back to the black pool, under the now full mother moon. The village, their fury a tangible force, followed at a distance. At the pool's edge, he fell to his knees. The detached shadow stood behind him, a silent, waiting reaper. He looked into the water. He saw the moon's full reflection. And he saw his own, but his reflection was already fading, transparent. He had one choice left. To return the peace of the cycle, he had to make a true wish, a selfless demand of the tides. But he was empty of anything but fear and regret. So, he spoke his last words as a man with a will of his own. I wish for the silence I stole. I wish for their minds to be their own again, completely. The detached shadow nodded. It flowed into Matt. Not merging, but filling the hollow space his consumed ego had left. Matt's body went rigid. Then, he stood. He turned to face the villagers, his face calm, blank, and utterly peaceful. He opened his mouth, and the voice of the pool spoke through him, gentle now. The debt is paid. The reflection is returned, the voice said. Matt, or what was left of him, walked past them. He returned to his old, crumbling hut. He took up his old, mended net. Every day, at dawn and dusk, he walks to the river and casts his net. He never pulls it in. He simply holds it, standing still for hours, a living vessel holding a space where the moon's reflection can pass through uncaught. He does not speak. He does not age. He is a silent, penitent fixture, ensuring the cycle flows unbroken. Kalwa recovered her spirit, but carries a deep caution. The village prospers, but they never speak of influence lightly. They understand that to too strongly shape the world around you is to become a slave to the shape you've created. And on nights when the moon is full, if you go to the black pool, you'll see him there. Matt. Casting his net over the water, not to catch, but to remember. A man who became a warning, be careful what you wish for, because you might just become the empty, silent keeper of that wish for all eternity. Matt wished for influence, and he became a prison for it. His story teaches us that the desire to control our destiny is human, but the attempt to control the destinies of others is a poison that consumes the poisoner first. True power isn't in moving the river, but in learning to flow with it. But what do you think? Was Matt a victim of a cruel, supernatural trap, or did his own bitterness create the perfect conditions for his downfall? Could he have stopped it once he realized the cost, or was he doomed from the moment he cast that net? Let me know in the comments below. But what do you think? Was Matt a victim of a cruel, supernatural trap, or did his own bitterness create the perfect conditions for his downfall? Could he have stopped it once he realized the cost, or was he doomed from the moment he cast that net? Let me know in the comments below. If this tale of a wish that twisted back on itself chilled you, then you must witness the horror of the skin weaver of Kono, a story about beauty stolen stitch by stitch. The link is on the screen right now. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more original, chilling tales from the Safari of Tales. We release new stories every week to make your world a little darker, and your lessons a little deeper. Until next time, be careful what you pull from the water.